Have you ever made a decision and then immediately felt the need to ask someone, what do you think? Or, is this okay? Why do we still look for validation when deep down we already know what we want? Today, we're diving into why we seek approval, how it's holding us back, and more importantly, how to break free. It's time to reclaim your power, practice radical self care, and use affirmations that help you live authentically without waiting for anyone else's permission. If you're new here, welcome. If you're a regular, then welcome back to Aging with Grace and Style, where we celebrate the journey of growing older with confidence, grace, and a touch of sass. I'm your host, Valerie Hatcher, and I'm excited for you to join our community of fabulous women as we navigate the joys and challenges of life after 50. So grab your favorite beverage. I've got mine, and sit back and let's get started. Today, we're going to explore the roots of why we seek validation, how it keeps us from truly caring for ourselves, and how to break free from it. But we're not going to stop there. We're also going to talk about radical self-care and how empowering affirmations can help you sustain that sense of freedom. This is all about giving yourself the permission to live boldly without waiting for anyone else's approval. Then at the end of the episode, I'm going to share 10 affirmations that you can start using right away to reinforce your journey. Let's start by getting real about why so many of us are still seeking validation, even after years of life experience. You'd think by now we'd be done with needing others' approval, but it shows up in sneaky ways, whether it's how we dress, decisions about our careers, or even how we talk to our families. Here's the thing. Validation often stems from a deeper need, our need to belong. From a young age, we've been conditioned to measure our worth based on how well we play the roles that are assigned to us. Whether it's as daughters, mothers, or professionals, we're expected to live up to certain standards. And so we seek validation to reassure ourselves that we're doing things right. But here's the catch. When we live for validation, you're no longer living for yourself. You're living for others' expectations. Now think about this. How much of your life is spent seeking approval for things that you already know the answer to? I remember when I was thinking about starting a podcast, I had the idea, I had the passion, but I kept thinking, what will people think? Will they even watch or listen? I kept asking people for advice and validation when I already knew what I wanted to do. It wasn't until I realized that I was waiting for permission that I took action. And I bet many of you have had similar moments. The more we seek validation externally, the less we trust ourselves. Breaking free from validation isn't just about making bold choices. It's about healing that inner wound that says, I'm not enough as I am. It's about learning to hear your own voice and trusting it again. So how do we break free from this? The first step is recognizing where in your life you're still seeking validation. I call this the validation detox. Take one area of your life, whether it's your work, your relationships, or even a personal goal, and this week, make a decision without waiting for someone else's approval. Breaking free from validation isn't just about letting go of external approval. It's about creating space to focus on what you need. And that brings us to what I call radical self-care. Because once you stop living for others, you have the freedom to take care of yourself in ways that truly matter. Radical self-care is more than just spa days and treating yourself. It's about taking back your time and your energy. And sometimes that means making uncomfortable decisions like saying no to things that just don't serve you. When we've spent years putting others first, it's easy to fall into the trap of saying yes to everything. We've been taught that our value is in our productivity or how much that we can give to others. But radical self-care is about flipping that narrative. It's about understanding that your worth isn't tied to what you can do for others. It's about who you are. Now, let me share a story with you. I once agreed to help out with a project that I just knew would drain me. It wasn't aligned with my passion, but I felt obligated. By the end of it, I was exhausted, frustrated, and honestly, I was angry at myself for not setting that boundary. That's when it clicked for me. Radical self-care is about reclaiming the time, the space, and the energy that I deserve. Saying no wasn't about protecting my schedule. It was about protecting my spirit. So I started practicing what I call the compassionate no. It's saying no without feeling guilty or needing to explain myself. And guess what? It was so liberating. I was able to reclaim time and energy that I could then invest in things that actually mattered to me. Think about where you've been giving yourself away. Is it at work where you've been taking on tasks that really aren't yours? Is it with family where you're the go-to for everything? Ask yourself, what am I saying yes to that's actually a no for me deep down? Here's my challenge for you this week. Practice the compassionate no. Identify one thing that you've been saying yes to out of obligation and respectfully decline. Use that time for something that fills you up instead. Radical self-care is about making sure that you're not running on empty. In real life, just think, you can run on empty and nobody's going to care. The more you give, the more they'll take. Now that we've let go of validation and reclaimed time for ourselves through radical self-care, how do we reinforce these changes so that they stick? That's where affirmations come in, but not your typical kind. Let's talk about affirmations that go deeper, ones that truly resonate with the journey that you're on. Affirmations can be powerful, but they have to feel connected to what you're actually going through. I don't know about you, but sometimes the generic affirmations like I am enough feel disconnected from my daily reality. They're nice, but they don't always address the struggles that we're dealing with. That's why I believe affirmations should be personal and specific to your journey. If you've been working on breaking free from validation, then an affirmation like, I trust myself to make the right decisions is going to resonate more than I am confident. Can you see the difference? It speaks to what you're actually working through. Now let's go one step further. Affirmations should evolve with you. So as you grow and change, your affirmations need to reflect the new challenges and strengths that come into your life. I call these dynamic affirmations. They're ones that grow alongside of you. Affirmations should speak to the part of you that's been doubting, that's been questioning, or just playing small. Now, here's how to go deeper with your affirmations. One is to acknowledge the struggle. Be honest with yourself about where you've been struggling, whether it's self-worth, boundaries, or fear of judgment. And then create affirmations that speak to the journey, not just the destination. So instead of saying, I am confident, try, I am learning to trust my inner voice every day. And then we want to anchor them to actions. So when you say an affirmation, tie it to a daily action that reinforces it. For example, if your affirmation is, I honor my boundaries, then make sure to practice that boundary in real life situations, whether it's at work, with family, or in your personal life. One of the most powerful affirmations that I've created for myself is, I give myself permission to take up space. And this is because for so long, I was shrinking to fit into roles or expectations. But this affirmation reminds me that I don't need to shrink. I'm allowed to expand, to be fully seen, and to live authentically. Your affirmation should feel powerful. It should resonate in your body when you say it because it's tied to something real, to something that you're actively working through. So here are 10 affirmations that you can start using right away. These affirmations are designed for us women over 50, addressing the real transitions and transformations that we go through. I'm going to run through them kind of quickly. Here we go. I trust the wisdom of my experience and embrace the decisions I make. My worth is not defined by what I give to others, but by who I am. I give myself permission to prioritize my happiness and well-being. I am learning to say no without guilt and yes to what nourishes me. I release the need for external validation. My approval is enough. My voice is powerful and I trust myself to speak my truth. I honor my boundaries because I deserve respect. I am proud of the woman that I'm becoming and the growth that I continue to make. I am allowed to take up space and to live fully without shrinking. Every day, I choose to live authentically, unapologetically, and boldly. These affirmations are just the beginning. Feel free to tweak them to fit your specific needs. And remember, affirmations are most powerful when they reflect the truth of your journey. And here's the deeper challenge for this week. Create an affirmation that directly addresses something that you've been struggling with. Don't just repeat it, actually live it. Take one step every day that brings that affirmation to life. So let's bring this all together. Breaking free from validation means reclaiming your power. Radical self-care is about prioritizing yourself unapologetically. And affirmations are tools that help reinforce this transformation. So here's your challenge for the week. Let go of validation in one area of your life. Say no to something that drains you. And choose an affirmation that feels true to your journey right now. Then, practice that affirmation daily and watch how it begins to shift your mindset. Thanks for joining me. And don't forget to like and subscribe so that you never miss an episode. Also, feel free to share with a friend who you think needs to break away from validation. Until next time, keep shining, stay fabulous, and remember, girl, you got this.